Words. They don't just communicate thoughts. They reveal the hidden things in our hearts. They don't just communicate ideas. They create worlds. The mouth and the words we say are a creative force that is not only used all the time, but everywhere we go. Our words are the very essence of how the Creator made us. Join us as we discover the essence of man and the power of speech. Hey, welcome to day 85 of The Essence of Man and the Power of Speech. And this one is a good one today. They're all good, but this one I really like. Ecclesiastes 5. Okay, let's look at that. Verse 6. It says, "Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin." Now, that's interesting to me. Your mouth causes flesh to sin. And we've talked about this in a couple of videos, that most sin starts with the lack of not loving God and not loving people, and the mouth gets to talking, and then the next thing that happens is the flesh begins to carry out the sin. So suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin, neither say thou before the angel that it was an error. Now let me say this. Angels, remember, are recording everything. They record everything. And these records are given to God. Okay? And that's a whole nother video. But anyway, that it was an error, wherefore should God be angry at thy voice and destroy the work of thine hands. So notice, God can be angry at your voice, and he can destroy the work, and then your works get destroyed. So watch this. Today we're going to talk about no evil speech, no guilt. If you don't do evil speech, then there's nothing to be guilty of. Angels can't record anything bad. But the key is, suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin. Evil speech can bring guilt upon our flesh and our lives. In other words, we can be guilty of action, but it can also cause us to feel guilty of action. You ever said something you regretted? You feel guilty about it? The other thing about it is, the second thing, it angers God. That's a pretty stout statement, but right here we see it angers God. 3, it destroys what you have worked for. Read it again. Wherefore should God be angry at thy voice and destroy the work of thine hands. The sins of our mouth will tear down all the works of our hands like a wrecking ball to a building. You know, a wrecking ball doesn't destroy the building all at once. It's one hit, then another hit, another hit, and then finally chunks start coming out, and bigger chunks, and the next thing you know, the whole building is destroyed. And this is the way our words do if they're evil. They constantly are barraging our life and tearing down our life. Okay? The other thing is, silence is more valuable than words spoken. If a word spoken is 1 coin, then silence is worth 2 coins. Think about it. Better to be silent and keep your building intact than to mouth like a fool and tear your building down, causing you to be guilty before the heavenly court. And as a result, God being angry, your flesh sinning, and then all your works tore down. We've talked about in one of the videos where you can study the scriptures all day long, and then one action of evil speech can erase or uproot everything that was stolen or sowed in your heart. So, evil speech can make us guilty before God. It angers God. And it destroys the works of our hands. But it also causes our flesh to sin. You know, the Bible does say a fool opens wide his mouth, but a wise man keeps his mouth shut. I guess the question is, are we wise or are we fools? So, one more time, let me read this before we go. Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin, neither say thou before the angel that it was an error. Wherefore should God be angry at thy voice and destroy the works of thine hands? Watch what we say, folks. Because you know what? If we keep our mouth shut, there's no guilt. Amen? Hey, we'll see you the next time on The Essence of Man, the Power of Speech. Have a good one.